It's a ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pounds. Somebody gonna want revenge.
Coach, it is a sound like no other when they raise that 12th man flag here in Seattle. We just heard it, and that means it's time for football at CenturyLink Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
Green 80! Hey, 0-0-0. Switch.
They'll run on first down. Dobbins. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Come on, set, 50, plant. 54 miles. Get the ball.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Kill. Second and 11 at the 24-yard line. Greystone, Travis. Mike's 54. Buzz. Hey, watch that. Check Mike 54. Get it.
Second and 11. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Brings up second and 12 at the 38-yard line. Set up. 10-2 soft. Check. Watch it before. Hey, Delta.
Here we go on second and 12. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
And those gloves, they do have a little grip to them.
They got a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
At the 44-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's second and 8. Here's second and 8. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Amari Cooper, a 5-yard pickup on the play. And it's third down.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on third down. And they give this time to the tailback. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. He'll look to throw. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Check safety, check safety.
From the shotgun, Wilson. Buying time to his left. And Thomas has it. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So they don't get anything out of that completion. I guess when you roll out of the pocket like he did there to the left, if you're going to throw it, you better gain some yardage.
And can you just hear the old school coaches right now? You threw it for no yards? They don't want the ball in the air unless something positive is going to happen downfield. In that case, they'd rather have the quarterback try and run it himself. Just take care of the ball. If nothing else, just slide and get down.
Throwing is Wilson. To the right side and complete to Metcalf. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. First carry for the former Florida Gator, Jordan Scarlett. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards there and a first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right. Hey. You got 3.
Tight end. Clear.
Check 3. Check.
Now Wilson on first down. It's caught. Block it. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
Right here, right here. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up.
Wilson. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal?
Tempo.
To throw is Wilson. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And Myers able to knock it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Dancing, and he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big one.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
Now it's Lockett. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 35-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Quick edge. Go. Rush in. Kill.
Throwing on 2nd down. Wilson. Left side here taken in by Metcalf. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. DeMarcus Lawrence has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Let's phrase this delicately, okay? Might have had a better option instead of throwing the football into double coverage.
He was blanketed. I was surprised that he went his direction.
Yeah, should have thought maybe about the check down. Take the completion, keep moving.
Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Let's go, D.
Run fast.
Check hot route. Hot. Check the backer. You go tight. You got tight.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
Under 10. Tighten up.
Now Wilson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Here's Wilson. Flushed out right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken short. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Myers connects on the PAT. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be taken very short.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
Well, no, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They'll set up a throw, and he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas 1st down. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance. He's helping his team in a huge way.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
On first down, Dobbins. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 47-yard line.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. No. Off.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. That one good for 26 and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Jennings was the one he was looking for, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Alert.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. Check. Fresno.
Wilson now to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here.
All go special.
Mike's 5'4". Mike's 5'4".
You ain't got nothing. Chance. All go special. Saturday.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. And now we'll get a delay here as they try to give themselves a little more room for the punt. I think they're just a product of trying to buy themselves 5 extra yards.
And they want to help their punter out, right? Help with the angle, trying to pin the ball deep. That's exactly what they did there.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken short. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. A first update now from Cleveland, and it's the Browns out to the early advantage. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. A pretty good-looking run there on first down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll keep it on the ground. Christian. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 7. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. Connects here with the tight end, Blake Jarwin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and a Dallas first down. They'll run on first down. Christian. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Now he's flushed out left. Bryant has it. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 30. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
7th play in this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Looking to throw, and he's going to go down again.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks.
And the pressure gets to him again. Jadeveon Clowney, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
Hatchet. Go.
On 1st down, Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken very short. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got, and his first carry, he loses the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be taken short. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Hey, Charlie.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. On 1st down. Christian. Man, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Hey, exit.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Being chased out left. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. This is Scarlett on the carry. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Defense all day, all day.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Reload.
They'll run on first down. Dobbins, and he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Watch the run.
Bang out. Bam.
They run the counter. Dobbins. 9 big yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jerry Tillery able to get him for a loss of about 3. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Now Scarlett. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Jordan Scarlett, his 4th touchdown on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter.
At their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Complete to Bryant. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Back to throw here. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Here we go.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards and a 1st down, Cowboys.
1st down, Dallas.
A pair of 1st downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44.
Alpha.
Back to throw. He's going to launch this thing. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 39 yards there, a big one. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
Ready?
They'll run with Elliott. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play there. Second down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Looking for Cooper, that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Complete to Amari Cooper. 5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd down.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 4. He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And forthcoming, a field goal try for the Cowboys. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Run it.
They turn to Scarlett again. Now the ball comes loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. Well, he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 32-yard line.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Seahawks, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Dallas, the difficult season continues as they drop to 1-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next.